I want to welcome the statement by Minister Heather Humphreys that she will extend the access to rent supplement for the victims of domestic violence without a means test. You will be aware that this came in last August to facilitate people who had to leave home because of domestic violence and to ensure that they weren't in a situation where they had nowhere to go. I also want to acknowledge the work that was done by the Women's Caucus on Limerick City and County Council, and my colleague, Councillor Sarah Kiley, is the leader of that caucus, in recognising how much more difficult the lockdown has been on women, and particularly the victims of domestic violence, and it's important that we acknowledge that. So in welcoming that, I also would like to note that Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown is the only local authority in the country that doesn't have a women's refuge, and I've raised this issue with Minister O'Gorman. We have been talking about that as long as I've been in elected politics, since 2009. It was raised in the council, and it seems bizarre to me that in a large populous area like Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown we don't have a women's refuge. There's a major lacuna in the provision of services there, and we know from statistics being given by Safe Ireland for 2020 that seven women and children, groups of women and children, are being turned away every day because the facilities are not there, and that's obviously worse now in Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown. And I would like us as a House to agree perhaps that we should be discussing this, and we should be looking at a situation where we're bringing this to the fore of debate, and as I say, particularly in the context of the only local authority area in the country where the services are not provided. It's also particularly acute in circumstances where it's also the local authority in the country with probably the highest property prices and the highest rents. So it's a real problem. It needs to be addressed, and I'd call on a debate on that issue.